Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are nowadays celebrating the victory of the 6th of October war. We are still speaking about the Sinai Peninsula, and we are going to discuss now the tourism in Sinai. To shed more light on this, we have the pleasure to have this phone with Dr. Yahya Abdel, the tourism counselor. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Mr. Mal. How are you?
Yes. Doctor, could you give us an idea about the name of Sinai? Why was Sinai named under this name?
Well, of course, like in the old text, biblical times, like it was called Sinai.
Yes.
And now it will be developed to become, the current name. We're calling it in Arabic now Sinai, and now it's Sinai, like in English and Latin. So the peninsula really has a rich heritage in history because it's a crossover between Asia, Africa, overlooking the Mediterranean, and enjoys extensive beaches, like the Gulf of Suez, Gulf of Aqaba, and Red Sea. It has a strategic significance as well because it controls the Suez Canal, this strategic link, for world trade and travel.
Yes, Doctor, in several fields concerning Sinai, we speak about the projects in Sinai, developing Sinai, agriculture in Sinai that needs, of course, the support of the state. But concerning the tourism in Sinai, we feel that it's already, since years ago, it's a very good attraction for the tourists from all around the world. Sinai is a very special region or attraction place for the tourists. What do you see makes Sinai very special? The beach tourism, the temperatures, the climate there in Sinai. It is a place that you can visit during the whole year. What in your point of view?
Really, like Sinai Peninsula, like it's unique. For its heritage and resources, it has the only places in the whole universe, like Mount Sinai, where Moses, received the Ten Commandments. This is very, significant and has a large value. It hosts as well the St. Catherine Monastery, such an icon for Christianity and religious tolerance. And travelers, since into time, it has, the road, for trade and for defending, Egypt, the Egyptian kingdom, and for pilgrims, going to Mecca and Medina. These are the ancient times, but as well, travelers, recently they marvel at its exotic beaches, and the divers, they wonder about its exceptional coral reef, and it has a perfect destination for year-round tours, safari excursions, and mountain trails as well. So Sinai is so colorful. It's a perfect year-round resort, and recently it become like a world hub for, world meetings, events, and international conferences. And shortly, inshallah, next month, I will be hosting, the COP27 with such magnitude for, world climate change conference that will be held in Egypt.
Yes, the conference is going to be hosted by the Red Sea Resort of Sharm el-Sheikh in the Sinai Peninsula, of course, and the state have prepared everything concerning hosting this conference, very important conference, and preparing the Sharm el-Sheikh city to be an environment-friendly or a green city, and all the hotels are preparing itself to be environment friendly. How do you see this?
Well, really, just yesterday, Prime Minister Dr. Madbouli, was
yes.
meeting, with concerned ministers, of environment, of aviation, many of them, and the health even, to make sure that there's going to be safe and sound, event for Egypt and worldwide visitors. So really, hotels, are enjoying, the solar power benefit, the wind, power benefits as well, and the recycling, of the leftovers in the city. So, visitors, when they come within like 4 or 5 weeks, it will be a perfect destination for holding the United Nations, climate change conference, and will be hosting over 35,000 visitors and participants from top politicians, environmentalists, well delegates, media, and professionals. So it's really a global event that's going to add, to the glamour, prestige, and reputation of Egypt as a hub for world conferences and events.
Yes, Dr. Abdel Kader, now Egypt's national income depends on the Suez Canal and the tourism. And concerning the tourism in Sinai, how does the tourism, especially in Sinai, not all over Egypt, of course, which is full of monuments and museums. I'm speaking especially about the tourism in Sinai. How does this tourism in Sinai, the revenues of tourism in Sinai, support the economy in Egypt?
Yes, definitely. The tourism industry, is a great support for growth and domestic economy, and we have seen this because in the past 7 years, the government has been investing heavily, in the Arish area, and in the area, around St. Catherine Monastery, because this is part of the relics, of the spiritual tours to Egypt and the Holy Family to Egypt. So we've been developing, accommodation facilities and, hotel facilities, because visitors, they come now, very large numbers come from around the world, because, Mount Sinai is like a location for pilgrimage for them, where they like to spend some value time, in the spiritual, Wadi, Raha, and other areas, So
Yes.
it's like a conglomerate for the monotheistic, religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam as well.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's why the government has been investing heavily to develop travel services and facilities in Sinai Peninsula and Sharm el-Sheikh.
Yes, Dr. Abdel Kader, what are the most attractive religious touristic sites in Sinai?
Well, there are lots of, attractions, one of the benefits of Sinai that it has, medical services, they have sulfur springs that has curative qualities, that heals, rheumatoid patients, and it treats, skin diseases and dermatitis. So this is a part of them, the archaeological tools, because Sinai, it has the wonderful relics and temples of Hathor, the Egyptian goddess of motherhood and beauty. So many people like to visit this unique shrine, as well as, in the Gulf of Aqaba at Pharaoh's Island, there's located the Salah ad-Din fort, it was like a defensive fort for the benefit of Egypt, So there are lots of relics, and the Sinai is very rich with its resources and mineral treasures, like the turquoise, the crystal sand, essential for strategic technology and products. So it has lots to offer. It has exotic fruits, year-round, that's been supplying Egypt with its produce.
Yes.
It has, for example, El Bardawi Lake, which is very famous for its, excellent seafood products. So it's really, Sinai, is so, abundant, with treasures, with resources, and with heritage as well.
Yes, Doctor, also concerning St. Catherine in South Sinai, also it is witnessing a big, great projects out there taking place. How does this show the state's keenness on developing the touristic sites in Sinai?
Remember, airlines so important. That's why we have, in the vicinity of St. Catherine, we have the Taba Airport, and we have another airport, near St. Catherine. So this is very essential because large number of visitors to Sinai and St. Catherine area and Sharm el-Sheikh, they arrive to Egypt is via air. So the government, because the flow of international visitors to Sinai and the central Sinai, that's why lots of lodging and hotel accommodations with different categories and ranking has been designed and developed to accommodate, like the large volume of visitors who like to come and spend 3-4 days and climb Mountain Sinai, visit the St. Catherine Monastery and Library, and enjoy, like the Bedouin life over there, like the herbal, like medicines and the life of the Bedouins, and doing them some safari tours, so really it's a hub, for regional tourism, and it has its own spiritual and environmental flavor.
Yes, Doctor, now the Sharm el-Sheikh city is, of course, the city of peace and is always hosting conferences and very famous events out there. So how can we make benefit of Sharm el-Sheikh hosting special events, and especially the coming conference of the COP27? How can we take benefit of this to boost tourism in Egypt?
Well, actually, like the quality of services, has been, recognized in Sharm el-Sheikh. That's why, for the past 30 years, Egypt will be hosting, summits and conventions and meetings and celebrations and festivals. My observation is that we need to develop an agenda for the events, so like weekly and daily and monthly. We know, for example, we knew a year ahead because we're going to host, the climate change conference. So this is very essential for the planning and for the training of the staff and for the promotion and getting ready for the events. So Sharm el-Sheikh has been recognized, as a world destination and a venue for meetings and incentives and conventions and exhibitions. So we need to develop more convention centers and make it like a location, for all the conventions, like large metropolis, like Miami and Florida and Orlando and Vegas and, London and Paris, such, places. But we need to intensify the development and operations of exhibitions in Sharm el-Sheikh on a year-round basis.
Yes, I thank you very much for your time. Also, thank you for your valuable information. Dr. Yahya Abdel Kader, Tourism Counselor, thank you very much for joining us over the phone. Well, with this, my dear viewers, we come to the end of this episode of our program, The Breakfast Show. I was in the company of my colleague Nermeen Abdurrahman. My name is Amal Mukhtar. Thank you for watching.